Welcome to the X Chronicles, the Game of Thrones. Let me tell you a little bit about our first guest. She is the Duchess of MFA, and she is one of our loved women in the Game of Thrones. I first ran into her in Topic Chat back in 2019. I found that she is a strong influence on many. She is kind and has a great sense of nobility. She has successfully grown her alliance since August of 2019 with loyal and supportive team members. I find her fascinating part of the Game of Thrones history, and without further ado, I would like to introduce you to Lady Magic.
Hello.
I hope you are well.
Good, thank you.
I have several questions I would like to ask you. Shall we start with the first one?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Who is your favorite person in the Game of Thrones and why?
That's a hard question to answer. I don't really have one favorite person. In the 4 years I've been here, I've met so many wonderful people that I enjoy in this game for so many different reasons. Some awesome people here, many of whom have become real life friends of mine.
So I heard through the grapevine that you actually remember everybody's birthday, and I was truly amazed when I heard that, because I was like, God, I mean, I have a pretty good memory, but to remember everybody's birthday, that's pretty amazing.
I just think it's something that we need to do. People like it, and it makes people feel good.
It
And that's
definitely made
important
my
to
day
me.
when you wished me happy birthday. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. That's exactly why I do it. Everybody's important.
So our next question, how many servers have you been on?
I believe 7. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's 7 or 8 we've been on. Some with my team and some before I created MFA.
So which server were you on? What was your first server?
I was born on K18.
And then did the translocations were they the same as before, or are they a lot easier now, do you think?
I think back then it was easy to move. It didn't cost much. We were all small. Now it's a lot harder for people to move. It costs more and players are more powerful. So I would say back in those days it was a lot easier to jump around. Even as a team, it was easier than it is now.
Okay. So did you move servers to expand or because of you wanted a better environment?
Well, originally I just played for myself with some teams, and then one day I was I was somewhere that I couldn't get into my other account, so I was bored. So I jumped on the computer and I created a new account in K69. So we started MFA there, and it was a great kingdom, but we wanted to expand. And a friend of ours, friend of MFA, CCCP, had a kingdom, so we decided to jump over and settle with him for a while. And then we grew a little bit more and we moved around. Just as we grew, we wanted to have some new experiences. So we grew and we moved around where we could get our own castle and become a little bit stronger and a little bit more involved in the game until eventually we took a kingdom. I wanted a kingdom for the team so they could have level 5s and not be picked on and do as they needed. And to be fair, so we ended up here in 37. We did have a few pieces of war and stuff and some of the other ones also.
It seems like you triumphed after all, which is great. Okay, let's see.
We'll try.
What female Game of Thrones character in the series do you like the most?
My favorite is Sansa. In the beginning, I didn't really like her. She was a spoiled brat. But throughout the series, I found her to become more mature and she grew a lot and she overcame many obstacles in her life. And eventually, she became a great leader. So I respected that and I liked that about her.
You got to watch her grow, and then she went through all these hardships, and then in the end, she rose to the occasion, and it's something that most folks can relate to, and you have to admire that.
Mm-hmm.
Who was your first mentor?
My very first mentor was a player named Fish. He was in K69 and he was one of the most honorable players I had ever met. There was just something about him, and he approached me to join our alliances together. And I was actually really shocked because I wasn't looking for a merge. And we brought our alliances together, and he stayed in the background helping me. And he was an amazing mentor. He helped me learn so much and create patience and understanding for the game. He's the one who actually taught me that little players, to accept them and bring them in, because those little players are eventually going to be bigger players and everybody's somebody. So he was really, really good. He was one of my best mentors.
Yeah, that sounds like he gave you a good, solid advice on how to lead an alliance, and who to look out for,
Yeah.
and how to treat other people, and his advice of how he treats people, and he instilled that upon you. That's great. I always thought sometimes like running alliance is almost sometimes like running a small business.
You know what? It is, running alliance is, as you know, not easy. And I find it's all politics, but it's like having owning a business and having staff, right? How you treat them is and what levels you bring them to and how much effort and stuff. That's the game ends up being just like real life in that way.
Or it's like, to me, like having staff that is family, and they have emotional attachments, and so their reactions
Yeah,
are usually emotionally charged. So sometimes they go well and sometimes they don't.
I, I do agree. We've had our own fair share. MFA has had a lot of ups and downs, but we've always managed to make it through.
That's great, because sometimes it's not easy. I've seen people merge, and things don't work out well. They separate, they go somewhere else, they stop playing, just different things. And it's always great to see people who can keep their family together and grow. So, what happened to Fish? Did he leave eventually, or does he still play, or?
Well, what happened with Fish? He didn't want to be a leader anymore. And he stayed in the background. He was with us for a while. He brought CCCP to us when he was just a baby.
Can you
And,
imagine that?
you know, I, without saying too much about CC, I watched CCP grow from a young fledgling in the game and all over the place, like just all over the place, to become a very strong, confident leader and one of the top players in the game. And I'm so proud of him. But CC was with us for a while, and then CC left to make his own alliance, and Fish promised him he would go with him. They were always together from the beginning. So Fish left us, and he went with CC, and then eventually Fish left the game.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah,
Sounds like a really great
it was
guy.
tough, but he was one of the amazing men. And to this day, I still remember all the things he said and taught me.
I don't think I had the honor of ever meeting him. Thank you for listening. For the second part of episode 1, click on the link in the description.